चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we continue reading from the Krishna book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meeting of Nanda and Vasudeva. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Meeting of Nanda and Vasudeva. And we continue reading from a certain chapter on page 57. When the cowherd men saw the pastimes of the cowherd woman, they became very joyful, and in response they also began to throw yogurt, milk, clarified butter and water upon the bodies of the gopis. This is very interesting. Some would say they're wasting the product of the cow. No, this is my Vyasa-san. They say that they're wasting the product of the cow because I've heard, especially from His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami, said milk is called liquid religion, and it's a pap to actually waste even a drop of milk. But it's quite interesting that we read in here that when the cowherd men saw the pastime of the cowherd woman, they became very joyful, and in response they also began to throw yogurt, milk and clarified butter and water upon the bodies of the gopis. Well, that's quite interesting. I need to ask about that because I don't know. Because it is said that milk should not be wasted. But yeah, I think they were in ecstasy. But you should note that down. It's here. Maybe you should ask somebody when they come around from this same chapter. Nanda Maharaj was also very happy to see the pastime of the cowherd men and women, and he became very liberal in giving charity to the different singers who were assembled there. Some singers were reciting great verses from the Upanishads and the Puranas. Some were glorifying the family ancestors, and some were singing sweet songs. There were also many learned Brahmanas present, and Nanda Maharaj, being very satisfied on this occasion, began to give them different kinds of garments, ornaments and cows in charity. It is very important to note in this connection how wealthy the inhabitants of Vrindavan were simply by raising cows. All the cowherd men belonged to the Vaishya community, and their business was to protect the cows and cultivate crops. By their dress and ornaments and by their behavior, it appears that although they were in a small village, they were still rich in material possessions. And that's quite interesting, huh? They possessed such an abundance of various kinds of milk products that they were throwing butter lavishly on each other's bodies without restriction. Their wealth was in milk, yogurt, clarified butter, and many other milk products. And by trading their agricultural products, they were rich in various kinds of jewelry, ornaments, and costly dresses. Not only did they possess all these things, but they could give them away in charity, as did Nanda Maharaj. Thus, Nanda Maharaj, the foster father of Lord Krishna, began to satisfy the desires of all the men assembled there. This is very interesting, because I know in the Western world, when ladies have, or they expecting to have a child, or after the child is born, I'm not sure what, but they do a certain program called baby shower or something. And normally the people go there to give them gifts. But if you look at this, it is Nanda Maharaj that is the person who is actually awarding all these nice things to the people who are actually visiting his child, because you want the blessings from your guests, that they're going to come and they're going to bless you to have a nice child, or and they buy all these things to bring, right? But in a Vedic culture, it's the other way around. Whoever comes, it is not explained that the people who visited the bridal shower of Mother Yashoda, they brought things. That's not mentioned here, but it's mentioned that the people who visited, they were given gifts. That's a very important point. So we should learn this. If anybody is going to have a child, or you should always learn to give. Whoever's come in, like if it's your birthday, one thing you can do is to feed the Brahmanas or the Vaishnavas. In this way you get the blessings. Thus, Nanda Maharaj, the foster father of Lord Krishna, began to satisfy the desires of all the men assembled there. He respectfully received them and gave them in charity whatever they desired. The learned Brahmanas, who had no other source of income, were completely dependent on the Vaishya and the Kshatriya communities for their maintenance. And they received gifts on such festive occasions as birthdays and marriages. So if it's my birthday, I should be giving gifts, not receiving gifts. This is actual Vedic culture. That's a very important point, right? While Nanda Maharaj was worshipping Lord Vishnu on this occasion and was trying to satisfy all the people there, his only desire was the newborn child, Krishna, be happy. So that's why you give gifts as well. You want auspiciousness to come to your child. If anybody buys something, just think now, you're going to invite a person to come for your child's bridal, but they're going to have to go and spend money to buy a gift and to come. Lots of people in the material world or the material consciousness, they don't feel so nice, to buy something and give unless they really like you. You understand? Generally they think, okay, I'm going to go there and I'm obligated to this person because I know them. If I don't go there, then it's not so respectful. But in the Western world, if I go there, then I must go and buy something. But in Vedic culture, it's the other way around. Right? So Nanda Maharaj wanted Krishna to be happy. In that way, he gave lots of gifts to the people who attended this festival. Or you can call it the baby shower. Nanda Maharaj had no knowledge that this child was the origin of Vishnu. He was praying to Lord Vishnu to protect him. Rohini Devi, mother of Balram, was the most fortunate wife of Vasudeva. She was away from her husband, yet just to congratulate Maharaj Nanda on the occasion of the birth of his son, Krishna, she dressed herself very nicely, wearing a garland and a necklace and other bodily ornaments. She appeared on the scene and moved hither and thither. According to the Vedic system, a woman whose husband is not at home does not dress herself very nicely. This is another interesting point. Woman only dresses for her husband. And if he's not at home, then she don't dress very nicely. Now it's Kali Yoga. Because now the woman is no longer under your protection because she goes to work. And she's associating with all other men. It's kind of, most people say it's very important for both people to work in order to maintain themselves. But it's a risk that everyone takes because you are exposing yourself to materialistic people, or then they can manipulate you, especially if you're not strong, if you're weak. I've seen this because I worked and I'm still working. From the opulence of the birth of Krishna, it is very clear that at that time Vrindavan was rich in every respect. Because Lord Krishna took birth in the house of King Nanda, and Mother Yashoda, the goddess of fortune, was obliged to manifest her opulences in Vrindavan. It appeared that Vrindavan had already become a site for the pastime of the goddess of fortune. After the birth program, Nanda Maharaj decided to go to Mathura to pay annual tax to the government of... Who lives in Mathura? Kamsa. He's going to pay tax to Kamsa. Kamsa was like the local governments you get now. They will tax you for everything. Before leaving, he called for the able-covered men of the village and asked them to take care of Vrindavan in his absence. When Nanda Maharaj arrived in Mathura, Vasudev got the news and was very eager to congratulate his friend. He immediately went to the place where Nanda Maharaj was staying. When Vasudev saw Nanda, he felt he had regained his life. Nanda, overwhelmed with joy, immediately stood up and embraced Vasudev. This is how you actually receive your guest. Is to be happily and joyfully welcome them with an embrace. Let's see what else he did. Now you can imagine how Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, they were actually very close, because it's explained here. Nanda Maharaj or Vasudev felt like he has regained his life. Nanda, overwhelmed with joy, immediately stood up and embraced Vasudev. Vasudev was received very warmly and offered a nice place to sit. So these are instructions that we can follow. That if you invite any sadhu or any guest to your house, these are the steps you should follow. Because ultimately we are following in the footsteps of Lord Krishna, yeah? And his associates. So this is the steps we should follow when you invite anyone. Especially if anybody comes into the temple and they look bewildered. Immediately you should stand up and try to welcome them, offer them a seat, like that. It is even explained that if a guest comes to the temple, the pujari can stop his puja or the arati and see to the guest. That is also there. But I'm sure, you're not going to do that. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Vasudeva was received very warmly and offered a nice place. At that time, Vasudeva was anxious about his two sons who had been put under the protection of Nanda without Nanda's knowledge. With great anxiety, Vasudeva inquired about them. Both Balaram and Krishna were the sons of Vasudeva. Balaram was transferred to the womb of Rohini, Vasudeva's own wife, but Rohini was kept under the protection of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna was personally delivered to Yashoda and exchanged with her daughter. Nanda Maharaj knew that Balaram was a son of Vasudeva, although he did not know that Krishna was also Vasudeva's son. But Vasudeva was aware of this fact and inquired very eagerly about Krishna and Balaram. So Vasudeva knew who the sons of Nanda Maharaj was, but Nanda Maharaj didn't know. This is what Prabhupada is saying. Vasudeva then addressed him, "My dear brother, you are old enough. You are old enough and very anxious to beget a son. And yet you had none. By the grace of Lord Krishna, you are fortunate to have a very nice son." So now we can understand that Nanda Maharaj was actually very old when he begot Krishna. And that's a very interesting thing, right? Nanda Maharaj knew that, okay. Vasudeva then addressed him. Okay, we read that. "I think that this incident is very auspicious for you. Dear friend, I was imprisoned by Kamsa and now I am released. Therefore, this is another birth for me. I had no hope of seeing you again, but by God's grace I can see you." Vasudeva then expressed his anxiety about Krishna. Krishna was sent incognito to the bed of Maria Yashoda. And after very pompously celebrating his birth, Nanda went to Mathura. So Vasudeva was very pleased and said, "This is a new birth for me." He never expected that Krishna would live, because all his other sons were killed by Kamsa. Vasudeva continued, "My dear friend, it is very difficult for us to live together, although we have our family and relatives, sons and daughters. By nature's way, we were generally separated from one another. The reason for this is that every living entity appears on this earth after different pressures or fruitive activities. Although they assemble together, there is no certainty of their remaining together for a long time." This is quite interesting. I just came from a meeting with a family whose son is missing. This boy, he used to come to the temple, he even lived in the ashram with us in weekends. And he just got missing in the temple, not in the temple, outside. Apparently, he may have gone astray and he got involved with the wrong people and then they can't find him. It's gone on like 6 months, he's missing. But his parents can't believe it, they're in anxiety, they're shocked. So we explained the same thing to them, that we are not guaranteed to be with each other permanently because our bodies are always changing even. The final change is death. So, in their situation, the boy just vanished. He left home and they didn't know that they're not going to see him again. So this world is like that. We appear, we disappear, we appear again and we disappear. And birth, death, old age and disease. Birth, death, old age and disease. This is continuing in different species of life. And it's actually a very dangerous world. That you can be bewildered for a moment, and your whole life can just pass. However, it says in your lowest point in life, we can rise. So sometimes it may look like everything is going AY, but you can make the best out of your lowest moments, because that's the time when you can really pray. You can really pray. So I told them that, this boy is missing. He could be in a very dangerous situation. But he knows the process of Krishna consciousness. If he is put in real anxiety, if something had to really happen, if he had to be killed, he would just call out for Krishna, and then there's eternal benefit, because he performed devotional service. You see, Radhasham cleans these carpets. He used a vacuum cleaner, and this boy bought the vacuum cleaner. So I told him, he's not here, but he's still doing his service in the temple. That vacuum cleaner is still performing that service every day. And that service that vacuum cleaner is performing, it goes on that boy's bank account. His spiritual bank account is increasing. So yeah, that's Nishal. His name is Nishal. Very nice boy. Humble. Sometimes they say, you cannot imagine a person that is so nice and so good, anything bad happening to them, because it's very hurtful, right? So they say good things happen to the bad and the bad things happen to the good. That's what they say. But this is karma, and this is what Vasudeva is explaining to Nanda Maharaja. He's explaining about that we come and go and we meet and we actually separate each other and we leave. It's all happening according to our fruitive activities, what we have done in the past. According to one's fruitive activities, one has to act differently and thereby be separated. For example, many plants and creepers are floating on the waves of the ocean. Sometimes they come together and sometimes they separate forever. One plant goes one way, another plant goes another. Similarly, our family assembly may be very nice while we are living together. But after some time, in course of the waves of time, we are separated. Prabhupada had so many analogies. It's amazing because he gives another analogy similar to this of the sand in the ocean. The sand come together, right? And when a wave comes again, the sand disperses and they go in different directions. But here is given about the seaweeds. I don't know if you went to the beach and if you saw weeds coming and going in all different directions. The purport of this expression by Vasudeva is this. Although he had 8 sons born in the womb of Devaki, unfortunately they were all gone. He could not have even keep his one son, Krishna, with him. Vasudeva was feeling his separation, but he could not express the real fact. Please tell me about the welfare of Vrindavan, he said. You have many animals. Are they happy? So Vasudeva is sharp. He's very intelligent. Now he knows that Nanda Maharaj doesn't know that Krishna is his son and that there was an exchange happening. So he's trying to understand about Krishna, but he's asking him through an indirect way. He's going like that until he's coming to Krishna. So he's asking about the residents of Vrindavan. How's Vrindavan? How's the people there? And ultimately he's getting to Krishna and Balaram. Please tell me about the welfare of Vrindavan, he said. You have many animals. Are they happy? Wow, look at that. He's even worried about the animals. Now this is, when you go to Vrindavan, do you look at the animals and feel the pain of the cows that are suffering? But look at Vasudeva is asking if the animals are happy in Vrindavan. There, if you go to Vrindavan now, you'll see so many animals are suffering. Right? Are they getting sufficient grass and water? Look at this. Now he's like specifically talking about the cows. And they're the cows in Vrindavan now. So many cows that are stray, neglected. How do you think Krishna will feel about this? Please also let me know whether the place where you now live in is undisturbed and peaceful. This inquiry was made by Vasudeva because he was very anxious about Krishna's safety. He knew that Kamsa and his followers were trying to kill Krishna by sending various kinds of demons. They had already resolved that all children were born within 10 days of the birthday of Krishna should be killed. Now one thing is important, that many demons were sent to kill Krishna. None of them were successful actually. It's also mentioned that if one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra regularly, then all the demons within his own self can be destroyed. You'll see that in this age, there are many evil omens that we experience. Everything can be mitigated by the staunch chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And this all begins with faith. Faith is the prerequisite for your spiritual advancement. Right? Because Vasudeva was so anxious about Krishna, he inquired about the safety of his residence. He also inquired about Balaram and his mother, Rohini, who were entrusted to the care of Nanda Maharaj. Vasudeva also mentioned Nanda Maharaj that Balaram did not know his real father. He knows you are his father. And now you have another child, Krishna, and I think you are taking very nice care for both of them. It is also significant that Vasudeva inquired about the welfare of Nanda Maharaj's animals. The animals, and especially the cows, were protected exactly in the manner of one's children. Think about that. In Kali Yuga, people are eating the cow. Right? Actually, it's explained, those who eat the cow, that amount of hairs in the cow's body, that amount of births they will take and be killed. Now in Kali Yuga, everybody is eating the cow. Very few people are not. So if any one of you, one thing you can do good is to try and tell people why they shouldn't eat the cow. You can save many cows and Krishna will be very pleased with you. Because Krishna's name is Govinda, or Gopala as well. But he's very dear to the cows. Krishna loves cows. You've seen pictures of Krishna with a cow. The cow is also considered in Vedic culture to be one of our mothers. 7 mothers. The person who helps with child labor, when we are born, the nurse, she is also one of our mothers. We are indebted to her. Although she gives birth to you and you don't see her in this lifetime again, but you're actually indebted to that lady. It is the duty of a Kshatriya to give protection to the citizens of mankind, and it is the duty of the Vaishyas to give protection to the cows. The cows are important as the citizens. Just as a human citizen should be given all kinds of protection, so the cows should also be given full protection. Now in Kali Yuga, they got a big slaughterhouse where thousands and millions of cows have been slaughtered all over the world. And that's why the world we live in today is so much in turmoil, because a cow is being killed. Catastrophes everywhere, even in South Africa, right? Bad weather, floods. All these are due to sinful activities. People are driven by the senses. They have lost their intelligence. And they are suffering, but they still can't see why they're suffering. Jai Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki. Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Giriraj Govardhan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, so we stopped at page 60. So the cows should also be given full protection. The next speaker will start from Vasudev, continue to say the maintenance of religious principles, etc. You're almost finished. But the next speaker. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.